The 5 levels of prayer. Petitionary prayer. This is the starting point. Petitionary prayer is when we ask God for provision, protection, healing, or blessing. It is biblical and necessary, but it is also the most basic form of prayer. If you never grow beyond it, God becomes a spiritual vending machine. Insert a request, expect a result. When He doesn't answer as you hoped, discouragement sets in. Petition is meant to begin your journey, not define it. Intercessory prayer. Maturity begins here. Intercession is when you shift from praying only for yourself to praying for others. In Ezekiel 22, God looked for someone to stand in the gap and found none. Intercessors carry the burdens of others before God like priests in prayer. This level is powerful because when you pray for others, you often see God move in your own life as well. Intercession costs more. It requires selflessness, compassion, and sometimes even feeling the weight of another's struggle. Warfare prayer. Confronting the enemy. This level makes many uncomfortable. Warfare prayer isn't against people, but against spiritual forces of darkness. Here, prayer becomes an act of authority, binding, loosing, and resisting the enemy's influence. Jesus said in Luke 10:19, "I have given you authority." This type of prayer is essential when answers are delayed or resisted. Prophetic prayer. At this stage, prayer shifts from reaction to creation. Prophetic prayer speaks God's word into situations, calling forth His will in the present. Romans 4:17 says, God calls things that are not as though they were. Prophetic prayer is not predicting the future, it is partnering with God to bring His purposes into reality. It requires intimacy with Him, hearing His voice, and proclaiming what He reveals. Contemplative prayer. The highest level of prayer is intimacy, being with God, not just speaking to Him. Psalm 46 says, "Be still and know that I am God." This is the prayer of stillness and presence, where words fade and communion deepens. Jesus often withdrew to lonely places simply to be with the Father. At this level, you discover that God's presence itself is the answer. Transformation happens naturally as you behold His glory and are changed.